Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Conversations with MaryJane. Welcome to our new studio as we are going through this pandemic. A little note about the pandemic and about kind of the course that the show is going on. Well, I want to give all the honor and respect that what we're going through as a world deserves. I also want to put our spin on it and try to look for the amazing, look for the wonder, look for the hope, and not just kind of the doom and gloom, because I think we're all very aware of what is, whether you believe it or not, what may be happening, what will happen, whatever it is, big things are happening. And so I do want to pay that honor and respect with that. But I'm not a news source. And so, especially with our recording schedule and how literally minute by minute things are changing, don't ever want you to be like, well, Jill said this. So everything I say today, probably in regards to what life is like today, may be better or worse come Friday. My hope is far better. So today is Monday, April 23rd. We are dropping this podcast this Friday on April 27th. And we do have a few updates just in general about the show. So you may have noticed last week we dropped a Friday episode. And so we've switched our drop days from Monday to Friday because we are now going weekly. And so we have a lot of fun things lined up for you to focus on some great feelings like wonder and amazement and security and love. We have today Ian, a friend of mine who is a musician, and we're going to talk about the power of music. We have Spencer Horsman from, did I say his last name right? Sorry, Spencer, if I butchered it, from Illusions. He is a magician, and next Friday, you're going to get to see some wonder and literally watch me geek out as magic happens. I love all things magic. And Olga, the cannabis nurse, is going to be on to talk to us about how to make our medicine stretch, maybe because budgets are, I know mine is, so sad. And to be honest, like I'm not smoking blunts, really for health reasons during this time, right? Like if this is a lung thing, I want to make sure my lungs are in perfect shape. And also just because it's the least economical way to consume cannabis. And so I'm using my Pax vaporizer and eating it. And so for a girl who loves blunts, this is very hard for me, but not as hard as other things. So that's actually more tongue-in-cheek. So we've changed the release date. You also were changing to weekly shows. So I just mentioned a few of those. We're going to be practicing social distancing by doing Zoom. So forgive me as I now go through another stage of awkward interviewing people digitally and virtually. And even in this episode, you'll see a lot of awkward pauses because I get distracted when I see myself, because it's not just I'm used to talking to someone else. And so easily distracted. And so forgive me as I learned this new medium as well. We also moved the studio into my house. We did that as of last week, not knowing that today non-essential business in Maryland would be shut down as of 5. We did that more of a precaution because we're continuing to work with the homeless population with Simple Sacrifice. I can't think of a time that it's more needed and to show that. And so we are continuing to give lunches and love at a distance to them. And so based on everything that we have researched and listened to, we decided that because we were doing that, we were going to stay away from everybody else. And so we gave our last rounds of air high fives to everybody. And Colleen and I have been pretty much chilling inside of our house, except to go grocery shopping and to work with Simple Sacrifice. So I empathize with all of you who are doing this. And then I congratulate all of us who are taking this seriously. God, I hope we all overreacted and this is just not a big deal. And so that's my hope for that. And so I am excited, though, to go weekly and to try to continue to share some things that I find comfort and peace in, and that are helping me through this. Before I kind of move on to the good news that came in today from the community, did want to take a moment to really thank every single person that is putting their life on the line for us for things that are deemed essential. And even before that, like I just, I know, if I'm being completely honest, when I got back in the car after delivering lunches, I cried because I'm scared to death that what if it's some fluke? Like, what if I'm not as healthy as I think I am, or something like that? And I just had this moment of like, holy shit, this decision could carry grave consequences. And that's the case for every single person who is either handing you cannabis, who is leaving their house to grow it, to process it, to make food for you to eat, to be in a grocery store, to be at a doctor's office, an ER, any of those individuals. Thank you. That you're doing that, that you, heroes. I can't imagine the courage it takes to fight something that you're not exactly sure what it even is. And, so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And my plea to all of you is to be kind. I had a moment, even I did it. Like, I'm having to check myself because my emotions are so all over the place. And man, we need to have grace and be forgiving and recognize when we really mess up. And so even I've had stressful moments where I've not been as kind as I could have been. And so for those people, I apologize. And let us all just remember that as we go through such like challenging times. As I said last week, I'm going to continue to ask for good news. And what is been kind of interesting is that every week asking it, it's been harder to get good news. And today, when I ask it, only I think 2 pieces came in. Now, I am very aware that we're going through something big, and not everybody has all the time in the world to respond to things, and nor do I am under any illusion that anybody is ever watching this, right? I'm always grateful when anybody does. And so, but what I hope it isn't is a correlation to maybe how we're all feeling, where for me, it's like up and down, and I'm going to continue to share with you how I feel, because if I always feel like I need to know someone else kind of feels the same way I do. So I feel like I'm not in it, and I'm not in it alone. And so, I appreciate you allowing me to share that with you. So with the good news, I do want to share 2 pieces that I received. So the first one is from Danita's World. And so what she said was she's connecting more deeply and more often with friends and family. A text turns into a video chat. A check-in turns into a philosophical discussion. I also have time for naps, and she really likes naps. That's awesome. And I think that is exactly what is supposed to happen during this time. Like, we need to look to one another and inward to connect when we can't be so physically close. Man, our words and our actions, and we have this great technology to see each other's faces. And so, Danita, thanks for sharing that. That was a great reminder. Like, even I, maybe like 4 days ago, Danita happened to be awake at the same time I was, and I replied to a story of hers, and she replied back, and we ended up chatting back and forth for like an hour or so, just talking about like what she's experiencing and what she's feeling. And that's what I'm excited about, the outcome. And maybe excited is not the word. Hopeful. That's my hope. My hope is what we go through leads to these like amazing connections with one another. And then Blair sent one, and I loved hers because it was like an unexpected outcome. And that's what I'm like also interested to hear, is like, what something that you would have never in a million years thought this would have happened, because you're in a situation where only that thing could happen. And so she said she's facilitating gratitude sessions. And so I went to it last week. It's via Zoom. It's a sesh. You get to say what you're grateful for. There was like a mindfulness meditation. I thought it was amazing. The Pure Life team, they're spending time or passing the time by doing gardening, yoga, and other online classes, and lots of CBD. I think we all should just be dosing CBD all day long as we get through this. But I think both of those, Blair's post and Pure Life's, how they're spending their time, highlight something very cool about what's happening. And so there is the thing that I'm the most grateful for, and what I think is like such great news, is all of the amazing content that we have access to. So we can learn, we can exercise, we can be with one another. You could fill your days with so much learning. I know there's museums that have just opened up like cameras to walk through with security. I mean, there's just things that we will have access to that we would have never been able to see. And so pay attention. It makes you feel like you're a little more connected. And so, as silly as this may seem, on Sunday, maybe it was Sunday, maybe it was Saturday morning, Snoop Dogg was just jamming and he was live. And just by chance, it was in my story and I clicked on it. And I like stayed on there for maybe 10 minutes, listened to music. He was smoking a blunt, saying words of encouragement. I was reading people's posts. And in that moment, I felt like I was there. And maybe it's because we're longing for that connection. It's easier to feel connected via these mediums. But I just thought, how cool was that? That literally my dream in life has been to smoke a blunt with Snoop Dogg. And I did it. Plain and simple. And this pandemic allowed that to happen. And for those things, I'm grateful for. And I'm going to continue to hold on to those moments as we go through what may be very dark and scary times for us. But what we know is like diamonds shine far brighter against a dark background. So I want to set up the episode now as I make sure I've gone through all of our things. So some of the things that I've been appreciating, as I mentioned, was the fitness that's coming out, the art, the music. You can go online anytime and see any DJs playing and just have a dance party. And so I just think that's like so fantastic. So what I did was I asked my friend Ian to come on today. He is a musician. Maybe my soul needed some music played, and that's why selfishly I asked him to be on it. But what we shared was like his story into music and how music is such a powerful tool in his life. And then he shares 2 of his songs with us, one cover and one of his originals. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. I would like to give a big thank you to the sponsors of Conversation with MaryJane. Our commercials are a little bit different today because we are giving updates on how you can engage with the dispensaries. So first up is Pure Life. What they would like you to do is first to make sure that you're utilizing online ordering so that they can maintain social distancing, so that they can keep their staff safe. And when you are coming in, make sure that you are keeping your distance, you're washing your hands. And if you are not feeling well, do not come in. The MMCC today announced that if you wanted to become a caregiver, your application would be approved in 1 day. And so that may be a great tool for people who are looking to help, so that people who are sick don't have to go in and get their medicine. And so you can find out everything about what Pure Life is doing right now in regards to how to pick up your cannabis at purelifebaltimore.com. Thank you, Pure Life, for being open and for taking care of the patients. Evermore, they are asking that all of the patients get acquainted with their online ordering and curbside pickup. I have been there this past weekend. I was not a good individual and didn't use CanPay and brought cash. I won't be doing that again. So they're asking you to sign up for CanPay so that no cash gets changed. So what you can do is go to iheartjane.com and you can look up the living room and place your order there. And then you'll sign up for CanPay, which will allow you to pay through a debit card. You can go and visit evermorecompany.com to learn all about those steps. And once you sign up for CanPay once, you can use it across everything. So Pure Life, you're going to need to use CanPay. It may be best for you to go ahead and get that signed up for you now, just so that it's easier across the board. Remember, when you're going to these curbside things, this is not how cannabis has ever been distributed in Maryland. And so they are putting in processes and systems. And, you know, I got a little upset when someone got picked before me when I was there way before they were. And we just all need to be a little caring when we're going to dispensaries who are doing this and trying to figure this out. And so shame on me. We all need to be better, and we need to be aware that this is all new for everybody. Herbology is echoing the same thing. You know, their number one focus is getting your medicine to you quickly, efficiently, and safely. And so if you can utilize online ordering so that they can bring it out to you, that is perfect. It allows everything to go smooth on what is already such a crazy and hectic day. And here's, you know, one of the things that we can do to help, if you can, because this is, this takes having some money to be able to do this. Instead of going every day or every other day or maybe every 5 days, try to stock up enough so that you can limit your exposure going there. Here's the deal, and I did it last week to Pure Life. I didn't need to go. I wanted to go because I missed my friends. How rude of me to do that. Even though maintaining that social distance, don't do things just because you want to do them, because you miss people. And so if we as a community can help protect those that are helping us get our medicine, that would be absolutely amazing and the best gift. And the cherry on top is if we were all kind, and if we cannot follow my example when I lose it. So again, I'm sorry for, I didn't yell, but I wasn't nice either. And last but not least, the Cannabis Science Conference. So we all know that it has been postponed, but fear not, it is going to happen. And so the new dates have been scheduled to June 29th to July 1st. So whenever you're ready to start thinking about those dates, use code MJ25 and you'll get 25% off your tickets. Thanks, Josh, for getting that rearranged so quickly. In fact, they were far ahead of any order that was ever given to shut things down for such a large group, because Josh and the team just knew how important it was for the safety and the health of the cannabis community, and I appreciate that. You guys can go to CannabisScienceConference.com to learn all about that. Thank you again to our show sponsors. Seriously, especially in this time, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and so does the entire community, so that we can continue to share our stories. Thank you, James from James Highland Coaching, for being a sponsor of the show. Currently, James is putting out a ton of free content to help us all through this. In fact, he was a guest last Friday, giving us tips to be strong mentally and physically during this time. You can learn more about James by following him on Facebook at James Highland Coaching. Thank you, James. Well, thanks for being on today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So before we hop into the topic, I want to know from you, like, how are you holding up? Like, how has all this stuff affected you? I've listened to a few podcasts and no one that's doing it now, and no one's really mentioning anything. So, you know, I don't want to be the news, but I want to know, like, what's going on in your life.
I mean, so I was working up until Thursday, and then Starbucks shut down.
Yeah.
So other than that, I've just been kind of hanging out. I've had all my gigs canceled and all that. So
Yeah.
Just hanging out. I'm trying to be productive. Is what
How's that
this
going?
is step one. Well, this is a good step. So yeah. My goal is to like deep clean the house and like lose weight, mix songs down, do all that.
Do you have a to-do list? Have you written it down?
No. Should I? Is that a good motivator?
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, if you don't write it down and you don't have a plan, I have a lot of plans. I don't think anything real big is going to happen the next few weeks.
I think it's like New Year's resolutions. Everyone has like these grandiose ideas of what's going on.
Yeah, I took out a 1,000-piece puzzle and I'm like, I'm going to do this, bitch. I think if I look over there, maybe like 20 of the edges put together, and it's been worked on since last week. So I'm not doing great on my goals.
Yeah, every year at the beach, we always spread out a big puzzle on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets a lot of work day 1 and 2. And then at the end, it's usually just my mom sitting there trying to figure it out. And
yeah.
So
I'm the puzzle geek. I'm not great at it, but I do like doing them. So you're cooped up. You're in Baltimore City. We met because I am a raving fan of Starbucks.
Yeah.
And wait, when did you start there? Because I feel like this is how long I've known you.
Yeah, I think you were already a regular by the time I got there. I think I've been there for like 4.5 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to calculate that latte cost.
No, I don't. That's not advisable.
No, not at all. But so I found out that you are a musician one day, and I already adore everyone at the Starbucks in Locust Point. Best part of my day, starting with you guys, all the happy faces.
That's good.
But then I found you had this amazing talent. And so I went to a few shows, became a huge fan. And then all this shit hit the fan. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be great if we talked to Ian about like what music does for him and why you kind of chose your life of music?
Yeah.
How'd you get started?
So I grew up, I had a musical family. So
nice.
I grew up, there were guitars and pianos everywhere. And my dad and my older brother played. One day I walked in and my mom was playing For Elise on the piano. And I was like, I had no idea that you even played music. But so there was always music going on. All my uncles play music, and it's like during Christmas and Thanksgiving, there's jam sessions. So when I was like 14 or 15, I had asked my dad to teach me how to play guitar, and he taught me a couple chords. And I went upstairs and I practiced for like 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah, and I got so hooked on it. So I was just kind of born into that atmosphere, but
yeah,
I really took to it more so than anyone else in my family.
So at 14 is when you really started to play the guitar?
Yeah, 14, 15, something like that.
And when did you start to sing with it?
Pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
I had done like choir as a kid, and I had always loved singing. My mom said that I would hum before I could talk. I used to like sit when she would like blow dry her hair, and the blow dryer is like, and I'm going, So there was always kind of the link between the two. Guitar naturally came with singing.
Yeah. Do you remember the first song you learned to play?
Yeah, All Along the Watchtower, the Dave Matthews version. It's really easy.
I have no idea what that is. I'll have to look that up afterwards.
It's his version of a really classic song, but he does it really easily.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. So you want to sing a song now? And then we can talk about other things?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Sweet. I'm going to take a picture while you do it, for social media.
Right. So we were doing tests earlier to see how the audio is.
Yeah.
You let me know if we need to go back and record.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, cool. Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah. Faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. Well, she tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Know that there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love was how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. And it's not a cry that you hear at night, it's not somebody who's seen a light, it's cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Thank you. That was awesome.
Good.
So I guess if we didn't really introduce why I even asked you to be on today, although it was always in my mind, I was like, one day Ian's going to be on singing, if anything, just so I have a personal concert, you know.
Right.
But I think we talked yesterday a little bit, and it's, you know, we've seen things come out of Italy where people are singing.
Right.
Music is such like a powerful force for healing. And you told me yesterday that you're spending a lot of time doing what at home?
Mixing new songs.
Yeah.
I have a ton of these new songs that I've been writing over the last like 4 or 5 years that I've just been working on. And so what's cool about it is I played all the instruments myself. So I played the drums, the bass, all the guitars, pianos, you know, all that. And it's kind of cool just to like see the progression of like where music took me over those 4 years. Mm-hmm. So now during this time, I'm going to be spending that time mixing down those songs, mastering them so I can get them up on Spotify and all that.
How does, you know, let's talk about like what music does for you personally. So as you're doing this, like, how is music soothing your soul?
It's always soothed my, music has always been a release. I think for everyone, it's a way to release emotions in a capacity that whether you're writing music or just listening to it, there's something special about being able to take your sadness and put it into a song, or take your glee and put it into a song. I think music has always been just a release for people. And it certainly has been for me. As a teenager, you're just naturally an angsty person. And it really, I would go up into my room and I would play music for hours and hours and hours. And then I would listen to music for hours and hours. And I think it's the only thing that's probably keeping people sane right now.
Yeah.
We're all locked up. But I think that it has the power to connect you to something else, something bigger than your living room in your own home.
Yeah. I think music, either which way, gets to change. It almost changes like your brain waves, right? Like you can take from one state to another state just by using music. Do you remember any of your teenage angst songs that you used to blare? I was trying to think of mine while you said that. I was like, what songs of my parents, like it would trigger them if they heard it now?
Yeah. Green Day and Blink-182 for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. I definitely was live. A lot of I Alone, obviously.
Yeah.
Just blaring that in my bedroom at the top of my lungs.
I thought when I was like a teenager, I was going to be a punk rock star. I was like, I'm totally going to be like Blink-182's next guitarist.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm visualizing.
I got a little punk in me.
I didn't know that.
Covered up by everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, you're such a crooner. And so that's, I would never expect. What's your favorite punk song?
Oh boy.
And do you like ska? Is that like...
I do. I'm not huge into ska. A lot of my friends are.
Yeah. I was a big ska girl
I love
in
it.
high school.
Yeah. It's just cool music.
Yeah.
Favorite punks? I don't know. Maybe like Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash.
Oh, a good one.
Yeah. And then probably like, I really like Joan Jett. I think she's awesome. But like, as far as like Blink-182, there's Damn It. And there's like the Basket Case and all that.
Yeah.
So
what do you think's gonna, wait, what were you going to say?
No. Keep going.
I'm expecting to like see a lot of cool things come out of artists during this time. Like, do you think that in moments like this is who we kind of look to, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think no matter what you do, just the excess amount of time, it's kind of the freedom. It's as frustrating as it is to be alone. I now have this time that I know I'm going to have where I can just create. Yeah. And I know that if you're a painter, I think it's probably the same thing. There's just going to be this influx of creation out in the world. And I know a lot of people are doing like online concerts. They're doing, like Facebook Live concerts, and people are tuning in. And I've watched a couple of my buddies do some. I think it's an incredible way to stay connected. Yeah. With people. And I think music and, visual art, photography, everything. I've seen pictures of Fells Point Square that look haunting because it's empty, Yeah. But it's still like somebody just took the time and was like, hey, this is a cool shot. Like, I don't know. I think creation is about to see a big boom.
I think so. I want to talk to you just maybe a little off top of music, but how you're kind of structuring your day to make sure that you do create that, because creativity, although sometimes it strikes, you do have to create a scenario for it to strike, Yeah. So what are you doing to make sure that you're giving yourself enough space? Because we are like, the governor just announced that like all non-essential business is closed down. So basically we can't do anything, which is perfect, where we should all be staying home. Yeah. So, but time can get wasted away, like ruminating, watching the news, sleeping.
Netflix.
I started that Tiger King thing. So yeah, like what are you? I'm very confused about the world right now.
Yeah.
Compared to that. What are you
I still
doing?
haven't watched that.
Oh,
Is it worth it?
yeah. I mean, I only watched like a few minutes of it, but because I passed out literally. But there are more captured lions and tigers like in the U.S. than in the entire world,
Which is
free.
appalling.
And the people,
It's either appalling or it's saving them. I don't know which it is.
no, it's appalling. It's once you see it, it's all very weird. But anyway, we could get wrapped up watching like insane stuff for hours on end and literally waste what is like what I'm seeing as like a gift. It's going to be bad. I'm not trying to like deny what could happen and what we're trying to avoid. However, man, we've never in my lifetime have been grounded like this before.
No. In anybody's lifetime. This is a totally unique thing. That's what I was telling people at work is that our parents, our grandparents didn't go through this. I mean, this is unprecedented. There's not something that we can look at and go, okay, well, this is, with impeachment, there's, certain precedent that had been set, but like this, we're just kind of figuring it out as we go.
Yeah. So how are you making your day productive? What are you doing to make sure you're being creative?
I'm essentially allotting myself a section of the day each day to work on the stuff that really matters because I have ADD and ADHD, so I'm far too easily just like I'll wander off and start playing video games or, instead of mixing the songs, I'll start writing new songs. And it's like, so I'm allotting time during the day for me to really just sit down and kind of focus on my craft and take advantage of the fact that, sometimes when I get off of work, I'm exhausted and I don't feel like doing that. Mm-hmm. And so now there's this crazy amount of time and it requires a lot of structuring. But I've allotted myself at least 4 hours a day where I'm just focused in.
I think that's smart to put like a time limit on it for sure. Like, very easily, I know me, like I could definitely get sidetracked doing 1,000,001 other things. In fact, I did that this morning. I was supposed to be doing something else. And instead I went and did something else, which caused kind of a backup in time. Yeah. But on days that this is the one scheduled thing I have this week. Noon with Ian. Everything else is.
Yeah, me too.
So
I have nothing going on.
It's like, I went from being very structured and I should take pictures of my like schedule before and after. And I have noticed like, if I don't do that structure, nothing's happening. Like I'm just literally, and I'm not even watching anything. I'm just kind of mindlessly scrolling through Facebook, reading the same things like over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like so important to structure and to have that going on. So I'm going to ask you kind of a forward thinking question. Let's envision the end of 2020 and you and I are here in person in the studio. So we'll do like an in-person one. Okay. And we are about to toast some champagne or clink blunts. And what are we celebrating? Like what are you excited about to see looking forward past through what we're going through? Which is like hard.
Surviving is number one. But for me, it's the release of all the music that I've been working on.
Yeah.
That is my end goal. I had set that as my end goal for 2019. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I was just too busy gigging and I just didn't allow myself enough time. But really the release of my new music is really what I want because I want people to hear it.
Yeah.
Out of selfishness, I just want people to hear what I'm thinking.
I think now will be a perfect time to create and do all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Like there's so much emotion in the world that, okay, I look forward to celebrating that with you at the end of the year. Like that is a great thing to have happen. You talked about gigging. I want to know, because I'm not a singer, what is it like when you step up, like you get on stage and you're about to sing? Like what's going through your head at that moment?
Interesting. Most often it's, did I warm up my voice enough? How well is this first song going to go? I traditionally try and sing one of the easiest vocal songs that I know how to play. Mm-hmm. It used to be crippling nerves, but I've gotten used to that now.
How did you get used to that?
I think just repetition.
Yeah.
Is really, like, I'm more nervous now than I am when I get up and I start playing. Actually,
I noticed that. I was like, because you are so cool, calm, and collected, like at all times. But I feel like what I learned through podcasting is through my nerves, I didn't die at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like the most embarrassing thing has happened and I didn't die.
I think it takes a really humbling experience to just be like, okay, whatever. Life goes on.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's like nobody cares.
How long did it take you to get over the nerves?
It took me a couple years.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was in high school and I would play songs, my hands would be shaking so much that I couldn't like form the chords, and my voice would be so shaky. It took me a couple years of just kind of, it takes a mindset, you know, like you said, with podcasting, it's like at a certain point, you're just like, okay, this is normal. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have chosen to do. And it's never as bad as I think it is in my head.
True.
You know, I can just totally blow a song and people were like, oh man, that was so cool. I haven't heard that song in so long. I'm like, it was terrible. What are you talking about?
No, it's perfect. It's just,
yeah. So it took me a couple years.
So what do you think? I think there's a lot of people, I think stage fright is a good metaphor, an example of your love for music outweighed your nerves.
Yeah.
So you were willing to put yourself in severely uncomfortable, because I know that shaking, that sweating, that anxiety it's hard to live through that till you settle in into the magic. Like, so for me, if you look back at this episode, when we release it, you'll notice in the beginning, you'll see my nerves. It takes me a minute to settle into a good cadence. I talk faster. Because I'm like still working through it, but it's so uncomfortable during that time that you have to have like such a passion to go, okay, I'm going to do this again later.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost excruciating sometimes.
Yeah.
To get up there. There were times where I would not be having fun playing music, which is so silly looking back on it, because they were just opportunities for me to, you know, share my love for music. But there were times when I was just genuinely not having fun.
Yeah.
And it took a while to get used to that. And for me, and you know, you can tell when somebody's not necessarily enjoying themselves, you know? So
go ahead.
No.
Do you think that, and that actually made me forget even the question that I was going to ask you. Let me see if it comes back.
I'm going to take a water break real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking.
You can drink, you can do whatever you want. You're not in studio. We probably, I kind of like this setup a little bit, although I do like to, you know, be around the person, feel their energy and stuff.
It's the Corona sessions. You'll just label these later.
I would have never thought in a million years.
I know.
Never. So I'm just, I'll share like what I'm going to celebrate in Clink. I think, man, the best of humanity is about to be shown. And maybe that's why I'm a little more optimistic heading into probably like the worst part of this all. Because I recall like nothing like this, but maybe after 9/11 or after some other things, like how we all came together. And I think that's, for me, what is most missing in the world. We've become so disconnected through this very medium that we're doing, right? We use technology. We've forgotten what it's like to be human around people. Yeah. And I'm like thankful for a mandatory timeout for all of us.
For humanity.
For humanity. Everyone needs to sit in the corner, reevaluate, and then tell us what you did when you come out.
That's a great point. Yeah.
What did you do wrong and what did you learn while you were in there? Did you pick another song to sing?
I did not, but I can play one of my originals.
Oh, yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
I just turned down my guitar mic.
Well, turn it back up, boy.
Turn it back up. Can you hear it all right?
Perfect.
All right, this is a song called Higher. Listen up, baby, I'm tired of running after you. I tried so damn hard, but I can never get through. Not like the guys from your past. I wanna make you feel like something real, a love that's meant to last. I wanna take you higher. Lift your feet right off the floor. I wanna take you higher, oh, than you've ever gone before. So color was blue, baby, but you're a sweet summer breeze. When I first saw you, I felt it wash over me. I can't help but love what you do. And now it's up to me to make you see what I can do for you. I wanna take you higher. Oh, lift your feet right off the floor. I wanna take you higher, oh, than you've ever gone before.
Holy shit, that was amazing.
Thanks.
I really like that.
Good.
When did you write that?
I wrote that a couple years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Do you play that when you are out doing gigs ever?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Thanks.
I'm excited to hear, like, I think I've only ever heard you sing covers. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done originals when you were in there. I traditionally, bars don't want me to, like, they want me to play songs that people know. So
yeah,
that's the problem with gigging, is that you don't necessarily get to play your originals. But I sneak them in every now and then.
I'm excited to hear what happens. Are you
Good.
going to do anything like with Facebook Live or Instagram Live, like
As far as like
music? Yeah.
of
Singing
release,
to all of us? Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about it. I might just keep the setup that I have right now. Make a couple tweaks.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of microphones already set up, so
That would be awesome.
yeah.
I think
Love to hear
they're doing something like that in Fells every night or something.
Yeah.
They have like, do you know what I'm talking about? Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
They have like guys who just like stand out on the street and sing.
Yeah. That's really
Or
cool.
at least the one that I saw. I think it's awesome.
We need it. We need
Yeah.
a lot of music.
Yeah. I think it's just a great way to connect with people.
It is. So I have you ever heard of changes cards? Have you
No.
ever seen these before? So it's just we're going to end on like a question that I don't come up with. And some of them, they're based on like action or guts or environment, but it's kind of like just to get to know you a little bit better. And I'll answer too. So it's not unfair, and I'll even answer first. So you have a second. Let's see. So this question is about cognition. And so it is, what is an idea that has had major influence in your professional or personal life? So for me, I think the biggest idea that I had was that I didn't have to work in a company anymore. And I always thought I had to be part of like this team to be able to use my talents. And so the idea of like getting away from a company and being an entrepreneur has, I think, opened up the world for me. Even though I loved being in corporate, I also love this too.
Right.
I think that's what the answer to this is. But anyway, what about you?
I would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to college and all that. And then I ended up realizing I don't want to work in, corporate finance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to steal your answer because that would be a lame way to.
I actually, though, maybe you can give a second one, but something that I've always admired about you is what you did, right? So you love music and you want to pursue that passion. And a lot of people would try to, like, you've balanced your life with working the job that you have so you can do the thing that you love.
Right.
Where a lot of people identify themselves with the career that they have. Like, I am the vice president of blah, 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 blah. Where that's kind of a means to an end, almost. Like, I have a few friends who are musicians, and one of them does that. She works for a company, and they give her 3 months off so she can tour in the summer months.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And she stays there because she wants to be able to do that more than anything in her life. And I think that speaks volumes about having a passion that's so strong.
Yeah. I mean, I always knew this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of, I kind of slacked off in my early 20s and then I started picking up in my mid 20s as far as gigging and everything. But the thing that changed me was really my parents were so supportive in everything that I did. They always knew that I wanted to be a musician. And so they always, kind of fostered that idea.
Yeah.
And even in college, they were kind of like, hey, like, maybe you're taking courses that you won't necessarily want to use later on. Because I'm a huge history buff too. So they were the ones who told me, they were the ones who told me to be, to pursue a degree in history rather than economics.
Is that what you were getting a degree in?
Uh-huh.
Was economics?
Yeah. Prior to my history. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I hated it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, back then I was thinking, if all else fails, I can just go work, a steady job. But then I came to the realization that I'd rather be broke and homeless and playing music than crazy successful. It's like, you got to do what you love.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that I think you not playing music would be the worst thing in the world. Not being broke and homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some people don't see like beauty in that, but I find that perfectly perfect and beautiful because, man, to have something that you're willing to do everything to be able to do, man, that's a life worth living, I think, to have like such a passion.
I agree.
Ian, I appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate you having me, Jill.
And singing. Your nerves were fine. You didn't even you're perfect.
Yeah, well, the second song, I forgot the second verse.
Oh, I mean, if you
it's my own song, I don't have to remember the words.
No, we would have never known. You should see the shit I mess up on a regular basis. Calling people the wrong names. I stopped trying to say last names because my nerves inevitably mess it up. Like, it has nothing to do with I don't know. It's that I'm freaking out. I'm going to mess it up. So I mess it up.
Yeah, I still, to this day, there are people that I've seen every day at Starbucks for years, and I don't call them by their name because I'm not 100% sure that it's their name.
It makes me feel so much better about life.
I'm like,
so much better.
I'm like, hey, man.
Sup,
how you doing? Yeah.
Ace. What's up, Tiger? Oh, I have
long time no see. Yeah.
If your name is Boo, it's probably because I don't remember. And I've met you a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel better because especially you see us on repeat. So
yeah,
I shouldn't be so hard on myself.
Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. It's totally natural.
Well, thanks again. Where can everybody hear your music? Where can they find out more about you?
Spotify, iTunes,
yeah,
Amazon Music, whatever kind of platform. It's all on there. There's more to come. Within the next month, there will be tons more music on there. So stay posted.
I'll put all your links and everything in the show notes. And then, if you have anything you're going to do in this time period, shoot it over to me so I can send it out so people can be a part of it.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much, Ian.
Yeah, thank you, Jill. It was great talking with you.
Yes, especially in this new world.
In the new age we're living in.
Yes. Thanks again, and thanks for joining us for another episode.
Thank you.
Perfect.